So if people accept my argument, and I don't expect everyone to accept my argument, then if you were starting society from scratch, and if you were creating social institutions from scratch, you would not worry so much about rules, you would not worry so much about incentives, you would worry about developing character and judgment, and then trusting people to find a way to do the right thing. But we are not inventing society from scratch. Instead, we have inherited a society full of institutions, and these institutions are themselves full of rules and full of incentives. We can see this in the way efforts have been made to fix education. There are two approaches to fixing education. One is to give teachers scripts instead of trusting their judgment, and the other is to incentivize performance on standardized tests, which has worked out extremely well, as you probably know, in places like Atlanta and Philadelphia, where teachers have figured out that the quickest way to improve student test performance is by changing student answers. True. So what do you do given that we are plunked down into an existing system that is laden with rules and incentives already? And I have two answers to that. One is you can find people who in the book we call canny outlaws, who operate within the system but find ways to steal a little bit of time every day to do it the right way. So yes, you got to follow this scripted curriculum, and yes, the kids are going to take a standardized test, but I'm going to do all that faster than I'm supposed to. And I may steal a week or two in the course of a whole school year to teach them history or economics or physics the way it should be taught. I think this is not something we can rely on, because people are just going to get burned out trying to do this, and eventually they're going to give up and leave. More promising is efforts to transform the institutions themselves, and I think the way this happens is locally. And the most effective way for it to happen is in the way in which people are trained. If you have a different model for training doctors, they will demand that their circumstances for their practice conform to the model of their training. If doctors understand that you treat people, not organ systems, and they learn that in the way they're trained to be doctors, then they will insist on working in an environment where they get to treat people rather than organ systems. And what will happen slowly, and there are now a few programs at very prestigious places. There's one at Harvard, it's just a pilot program. There's one at UCSF Medical Center. And they are training doctors to treat people. And the hope, my hope, is that as these doctors go into their communities or into other academic settings, they will transform the training in these other settings so that a whole new culture of what it means to practice medicine well will eventually replace the one we currently have.